Great sex for a man doesn't begin in the bedroom. It starts long before. It's not just about the moment when clothes come off, but about how he feels in his partner's presence hours, days, even weeks before. A man thrives on respect, admiration, and the sense that he is deeply desired, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. He wants to feel like he matters, that he's seen beyond his achievements, status, or body. That sense of being valued sets the emotional tone that can make physical intimacy electric. When a woman looks at him like she sees the man behind the mask, the flawed, trying, sometimes insecure version of him, and accepts him, that's where great sex starts. Because, for many men, the real arousal happens in the mind. It's knowing he's wanted, not because of what he can provide, but because of who he is. That validation fuels a deeper level of intimacy that no technique ever could. Too often, we treat men as if they're simple, as if they're wired only for physical touch and quick gratification. But that's selling men short. Yes, physical desire is part of it, but it's not the whole picture. When a man feels emotionally disconnected, the act becomes just that, an act. It might be fun, it might be thrilling for a moment, but it won't satisfy him on a deeper level. True satisfaction, the kind he remembers and craves, comes from emotional connection. It's knowing he's not just being used to fill space or satisfy a checklist. It's feeling that his partner is fully there with him, not distracted, not going through the motions, but present. And that presence is built through trust, affection, and emotional safety long before the lights go out. A man who feels emotionally safe will let go more freely, love more deeply, and show up more passionately. What builds that safety is how his partner treats him outside the bedroom. Does she listen to him when he talks? Does she encourage his dreams, laugh at his jokes, and challenge him with kindness when he's off track? That emotional support, that respect, tells him he's more than just someone to sleep with. It tells him that he's someone worth being close to in every way. And from that closeness, his desire to please, to connect, to give, becomes a fire that doesn't burn out. You see, great sex is an expression of how loved and respected he feels, not in a transactional way, but in an emotionally intimate one. When he feels seen, the walls come down. And when the walls come down, everything becomes more intense. The passion, the trust, the pleasure. For men, intimacy is often linked to performance, being good enough, strong enough, skilled enough. Society has told men their worth is measured by what they can do, not how they feel. But when he's with someone who helps him let go of that pressure, the experience becomes something entirely different. He's no longer trying to prove anything, he's just being. He's allowed to feel without judgment, to be vulnerable without shame, to express desire without fear. And that freedom transforms sex from something physical into something profound. The best lovers are not the most technically skilled, but the ones who make each other feel free. A man who feels emotionally held will return that feeling tenfold. He'll want to give more, love deeper, and connect in ways that transcend the physical. So great sex for a man isn't found in magazines, porn scripts, or locker room stories. It's found in the moments that make him feel understood and admired. It's the soft glance across the table when he shares something close to his heart. It's the smile that says, "I see you," even when he's unsure of himself. It's the subtle ways his partner makes him feel like a man, not just sexually, but emotionally. And when he feels that, when he feels like he's not just needed but chosen, sex becomes a celebration of that bond. It becomes a playground for affection, joy, and emotional release. It becomes a space where he can stop performing and start connecting. And that is what turns good sex into great sex every single time. Confidence is one of the most misunderstood qualities when it comes to intimacy, especially for men. Many assume confidence is about being bold, dominant, or having all the right moves in bed. But true confidence isn't loud or showy. It's quiet, grounded, and deeply connected to self-worth. It's not about proving you're desirable. It's about knowing it and showing up with presence. A confident man doesn't walk into the bedroom with a script or an ego. He walks in with curiosity and a willingness to connect. He isn't thinking about performance. He's focused on experience. He's not trying to impress. He's trying to share something meaningful. That presence creates a sense of safety, openness, and trust that turns physical moments into emotional ones. When a man is fully there, undistracted, unashamed, and unattached to outcome, that's when intimacy reaches its peak. Confidence comes from internal security, not external validation. A man doesn't need a perfect body, the right words, or a Hollywood romance to feel powerful. He just needs to own who he is. When he's comfortable in his skin, he's not afraid to show his real self, flaws and all. And ironically, that vulnerability is exactly what makes him attractive. Because no one wants to connect with a mask, we want to connect with someone real. A confident man doesn't fake it, he faces it. He faces the awkward moments, the imperfections, the fears, and meets them with honesty. That kind of presence in the bedroom builds trust and deepens desire. It allows both people to drop their guard and be fully immersed in each other. When a man brings his whole self, not just his body, to intimacy, it transforms the experience. Many men have been conditioned to believe that confidence means being in control at all times. But in intimacy, the most powerful thing a man can do is let go of control. Confidence is not dominance, it's openness. It's listening, responding, adjusting, and tuning in. It's being able to say, I want to know what makes you feel good, without insecurity. A confident man doesn't assume, he asks, he learns, he adapts. He pays attention to body language, emotion, energy, not just technique. And in doing so, he creates a sexual experience that's collaborative, not performative. He invites his partner into a space where both can explore without fear. That kind of dynamic builds incredible chemistry because it's based on mutual respect. When a man leads with confidence, it sets the tone for deeper connection and lasting desire. There's a misconception that men have to always perform sexually, that their worth lies in stamina, skill, or control. But real confidence comes when a man stops performing and starts connecting, when he stops asking, was I good enough, and starts asking, did we connect? That shift changes everything. A man who values connection over performance is far more attractive, far more powerful, and far more memorable. Because performance is fleeting, but connection leaves a lasting emotional imprint. The pressure to perform often comes from insecurity, from comparing, from needing approval. But when a man trusts that who he is without the bravado is enough, his confidence becomes magnetic. It's no longer about what he can do, but about how deeply he can be present. And presence, more than any move or line, is what makes sex truly great. Confidence is also contagious when a man owns his energy. It invites his partner to do the same. It creates a space where there's no fear of judgment, no pressure to impress, just two people enjoying each other fully. That mutual acceptance leads to more play, more experimentation, and more freedom. A confident man brings out the best in his partner because he's not threatened by her desires, her voice, or her pleasure. He celebrates it, he wants to understand it, and in that celebration, sex becomes less about individual satisfaction and more about shared experience. It becomes less about getting it right and more about getting into it, and that shift opens the door to more authentic, passionate, and fulfilling intimacy. Because when confidence walks into the room, insecurity doesn't stand a chance. Communication is often overlooked when it comes to intimacy, but it's the foundation of truly great sex. For a man, being able to express himself without fear of being judged is powerful. When he knows he can be honest about what he wants, what he likes, and even what he's nervous about, it creates a safe space for connection. And when his partner does the same, sex becomes more than just a physical act. It becomes an honest exchange of desires and emotions. Great sex isn't about guessing, it's about discovering. The most passionate moments come when both people feel free to ask, share, and listen. When a man can say, "This turns me on," or "Does that feel good?" and get a genuine response, the energy changes. It becomes exciting, playful, and full of trust. That's when intimacy becomes art, constantly evolving, never mechanical. So many men grow up without being taught how to communicate their desires in a healthy, open way. Instead, they're taught to suppress their feelings or assume they should just know what to do. This leads to shame, confusion, and often performance anxiety. But when a man breaks that pattern and learns to speak honestly, he creates emotional intimacy that naturally translates to physical chemistry. He begins to see sex not as something he's supposed to master, but as something he can explore with his partner. When both people can say what they like, what they need more of, or what they are unsure about, it builds closeness. There's no second guessing, no misinterpretation, just clarity and connection. This isn't about turning sex into a conversation, it's about integrating honest expression into the rhythm of the experience. And the more open he is, the more confidence and freedom both people will feel. A man who communicates well in the bedroom isn't just a better lover, he's a more present one. He's not thinking about scripts or whether he's doing everything right. He's tuned in, responsive, and connected to what's happening moment by moment. He can read subtle cues and isn't afraid to ask questions,